This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
You get to work with the rock and rolls here in Ole, though, so that had to be a good time. And then it's a super taping that happens. It's a 90-minute episode of TBS, June 28th, 1986. Ole and Arn are going to take on Tony Zane and Rocky Kernodle. Of course, eventually, Zane's going to submit to Ole's standing armbar. But then after the bout, Jim Cornette with Big Bubba is going to do an interview with J.J. Dillon, Tully Blanchard, Ole Anderson, and Arn Anderson talking about the Great American Bash. And I think we've got that here. Let's take a listen.
This is just like to beat people up. Different strategies, both equally as effective, I think. Tony Zane right now is finding that out. Little old.
What do you think of Jim Cornette doing a little guest commentary? He did a great job in that role, I thought.
Absolutely, 100%. Just Jimmy had heat. You know, people hated his guts, and he was an intelligent, articulate historian about the sport, you know, or the business, and he could really jazz up any segment that you put him in.
You know, we had heel commentators on the other channel, you know, Jesse Ventura and the like, and that's sort of the role that Jimmy here fills briefly. And the standing armbar gets it done after the big attack on the shoulder, the double team off the top rope. And now let's hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged today. I'm surrounded by three of the Four Horsemen and their spiritual guidance, the administrative director of Tully Blanchard Enterprises, my colleague James J. Dillon, national heavyweight champion Tully Blanchard, world television champion Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson. Gentlemen, all I can say is welcome.
Mr. Cornette, you're very quick-witted today. There's nobody that's got a sharper tongue than you do, but today, for me personally, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, and David Crockett in an early interview set the mood for me, which is a very, very dead serious mood. We're just a few days away from the Great American Bash. And a lot of money is involved, a lot of prestige, a lot of things on the line. And they talked about living in the promised land, waving the American flag. That's all fine and well. But you see, living in America doesn't guarantee you success. It only guarantees you the opportunity. And then from that point, you have to take your ability and get out and get it done. Now, American Dream Dusty Rhodes, you crippled Ole Anderson and put him out for almost 6 months. You have not yet been fully paid for what you did, but you are vulnerable and you will go down, and it could happen before the American Bash is over with. Now, the Road Warriors, awesome. They said you couldn't beat them. They said you couldn't hurt them. And right here in this very studio, the people that you see surrounding me right now, minus the world heavyweight champion Ric Flair, who's here in spirit and constantly on our minds, was out here, and all of the Road Warriors, not one of them, not two of them, but all three of them were laid out right here in this studio, and we stepped over them on the way out. And then we turned around to prove a point and picked up the slap. That's what I'm getting to, the slap. The slap heard around the world, huh? And Tuesday, Philadelphia, Veterans Stadium, the slap was nothing, because Ric Flair is going to finish and prove that it wasn't a fluke.
You know, Jim Cornette, the Horseman is like a family. Rock said it many times, and when he came back, the family was back complete. And you know, Rock, since you've been gone, Dusty Rhodes, he sends a lot of people, Garvins, Magnums, Road Warriors, all around to protect himself, so nothing happens to him. But you know, we have proved that the Horsemen are mightier than all of the rest. The Road Warriors, Garvin, all of them have all been left laying and carried out of any building by the Horsemen. Ole, Arn, Flair, and Tully. That's it. That's it. That says it all. Dusty Rhodes, you are vulnerable. Cage matches, you get the Road Warriors, you get Baby Doll, you get anybody you want. The Four Horsemen will take you down, and Dusty Rhodes, 86 is your last year, right, Rock?
Ole?
Everybody's already said it, but Rhodes, one last message for you. I made the prediction 86 is going to be the end. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. Four Horsemen are here together, and the one thing that we're going to do, whether it's got to be me and Tully and Arn or Rick or JJ, I don't care if it's 1 or 2, 3, 4, all 5 of us. I made the prediction it's going to stick. Rhodes, you're done at 86.
Arn?
I'm going to be dead serious, and I'm directing this right to you, Rhodes, Garvin, Wahoo, Rock and Roll Express, Magnum, whoever you may be. You look at these trophies, this one, you look at Flair's, All these are our trophies. This is not what the Four Horsemen are all about. To be a horseman, you can have one of these too, but it's inbred, it's guts, it's a determination to be the very best you can be, and not caring one bit about public opinion. You think about that. You take public opinion, put it above your own aspirations, you're going to be a failure. We do what we want to do because we want to do it. Get in here, love. Great American Dash, we're coming.
Boy, a lot of inbreeding going on for you in 86.
Damn, that's the second time I used that
I think
word.
that's the third.
Third.
Yeah, but you're just a professional inbreeder here. But
It has to have more meaning than the obvious. Boy, JJ's good, wasn't he? How articulate, intelligent. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit.
I feel strongly that saving money is important. You know, if it's not something we worry about now, boy, we are really going to worry about it later. And I want to help you get out of debt faster and do it with cheaper monthly payments. I'm talking to you if you're in a 30-year loan. Now is the time to take years off of your loan. We're routinely helping our listeners cut 5, 10, even 15 years off their loan. And you can do this without perfect credit, with no money out of pocket. You've just got to start at savewithconrad.com. Totally agree. It felt like he was a little lost to get going, but boy, he closed it strong. And just yelling as we're going to commercial, he had a sense of timing. The Great American Bash, we're coming. It was great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was just there. You know, the reason that stood the test of time, I think, is there were no weaknesses.
Right.
With anybody. Everybody could talk, everybody could work, everybody was different, which I think is, you know, the key as well. And we all played off of each other. We knew our roles. We knew, you know, what we had to do on a day-to-day basis. And you just go back and you feel this building towards the Bashes, which was that year was a huge revenue stream for the company.
Yeah.
You could just feel it in all these promos. We're pounding it. You know, it's getting time's getting closer for the Bashes, and they did incredible. So it was done the right way.
But this is from the 28th, that same weekend. It's a promo from Worldwide from Arn. Let's take a listen.
With us now, the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Ole Anderson. Ric Flair's not here, but J.J. Dillon is.
Here in spirit, believe me, he's here in spirit. The world champion is always with us. You know, I tell you what, you just saw the awesome, the mighty, the indestructible Road Warriors. But I understand, David Crockett, you got a film a little bit later that shows them not quite so indispensable, huh, Rock?
Indestructible is the word. We talk about Dusty Rhodes. You can't beat him. You can't get to him. Everybody's around him. And besides, he's the greatest thing in wrestling today. Well, you take a look and you know what we've done to Dusty Rhodes. He's just lucky he's still walking around. A couple of other guys, they said, we never can do anything to him. You just saw him in the ring, the Road Warriors. But I'll tell you what, you watch, because pretty soon you're going to see some guys go out there in the ring and do something to the Road Warriors that's never been done. Watch real close. You're not even going to be able to believe it. They still can't believe it. When we get done, people say, well, yeah, you all gang up. You want to know something? You're right. What's the difference? When you're out for money, we don't have time to play by the rules. Rhodes, I told you, we're going to get you. One way or another, 86, it's your last year. You better kiss your butt goodbye.
You know what happened, Ole? We found out that Hawk's a little bit smarter than Animal, because when Ellering asked him what happened, Animal said, I don't know. And when he asked Hawk, Hawk says, I think I was trampled. I was trampled by 4 horses.
I love it.
About that, I was trampled by 4 horsemen.
Smart ass, James. You know, I'm starting to really recall, you know, things that, you know, behind the scenes and everyday life of that time. You know, you go back and you relive it, and everybody with that company, from the first match to the last match. And for a lot of us, it was the first time ever making money, you know, and Jim Crockett Promotions was really, really doing well. And, you know, guys that, you know, they'd been in the first match, other places were starting to make a really good living. And I told you the story about, you know, buying that Cadillac, that Eldorado, you know, previous to this. And my granny coming out, looking in, went, yeah, that's nice. Take it back. And I did. And, things were getting more stable and my life and, everybody that worked there was life. And it's just one of those things that when you've never had things growing up and you grew up very poor, your first big thing that you get and you're able to pay for and comfortably pay for, it's a proud moment. So, my wife being home at that time with a baby and, we needed more than one car. I was tooling around in a big 84 Cadillac that was probably not the right car for me. Not enough power to go through the mountains, which we drove a lot in those days, but we just happened to stop in the Nissan place and I had Aaron with me. And, I was thinking, let's get just a very economical car that will crank every time and, will be very dependable and not, take much gas and all that. And we looked in there on the showroom floor and there it sat. 1986 Champagne 300 ZX Turbo. First time they came out, with, I think that all those things with the, had the T-tops and the whole shooting match, buddy, and the big engine. And she went, God, that's pretty. I looked at the guy and said, I'll take this one.
Yep.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.